Welcome to Middle Class Matters, Business News in English. In this, we will see Adani's reply to Hindenburg Report, Part 2. 3. Misleading claims around offshore entities being allegedly related parties without regard for applicable law and standards. Allegation number 4, 36, 37, 38 and 39 from the report are in reference to offshore entities. The queries make reckless statements without any evidence whatsoever and purely on unsubstantiated speculations without any understanding of the Indian laws around related parties and related party transactions. Point number 4. False suggestions based on malicious misrepresentation of the governance practices in Adani portfolio. Allegation number 34, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70 and 71 use selective information to make insinuations when in fact the Adani portfolio has instituted various corporate governance policies and committees, including our Corporate Responsibility Committee, consisting solely of independent directors tasked with keeping the board of directors informed about the ESG performance of business. Our ESG approach is based on well thought out goals, commitments and targets which are independently verified through an assurance process. An example of where the report exposes its motives is the question around convoluted structures and multiplicity of subsidiaries, while failing to comprehend that in the infrastructure business, especially in a sprawling geography like India, most large corporates operate in a similar fashion because projects are housed in separate SPVs, and these need to be ring-fenced from a lender perspective for limited recourse project finance and in many cases on account of specific regulatory requirements. As an example, transmission projects in India are awarded under tariff-based competitive bidding. In such bidding, the successful bidder has to acquire the SPV which is undertaking the project. Hence, it is a regulatory requirement as part of the Electricity Act 2003 and the regulations of the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission to execute project in different SPVs. Point number 5. Manipulated narrative around unrelated third-party entities. Allegation number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26 and 52. From the report, seek information on our public shareholders. Shares of listed companies on Indian stock exchanges are traded on a regular basis. The listed entity does not have control over who buys or sells or owns the publicly traded shares in the company. A listed company does not have, nor is it required to have information on its public shareholders and investors. Hindenburg deliberately ignores Indian legal processes and regulations in their insinuations against us. For instance, they have raised several questions around the offer for sale undertaken by Adani Green Energy Limited in 2019, while maliciously ignoring the fact that in India, the process for OFS is a regulated process implemented through an automated order book matching process on the platform of the stock exchange. This is not a process which is controlled by any entity and the purchases are not visible to anyone of the platform. 6. Biased and unsubstantiated rhetoric. Allegation number 84, 85, 86, 87 and 88 from the report are inherently biased statements around our openness to address criticism with a window dressing to grab them as questions. Criticism does not include the right to make false and defamatory statement which could damage the interest of our stakeholders. We continue to have the right to seek judicial remedy before Indian courts when such interests are threatened, and in all cases we have exercised these rights in due compliance with law and the judicial process. Hindenburg has sought to spotlight selective media reporting while deliberately ignoring judicial findings. For instance, in another twisting of facts, Hindenburg questions why we sought to have a critical journalist jailed. The fact of the matter is that he was never jailed in connection with any proceedings related to us, and in fact, a non bailable warrant had been issued to him by the judge because he failed to appear before the court despite summons and was not complying with the judicial process. 5. Our commitment to highest levels of compliance and continued growth. We reaffirm that we are in compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. We are committed to the highest levels of governance to protect the interest of all our stakeholders. The Adani portfolio also has very strong internal controls and audit controls. All the listed companies of Adani portfolio have a robust governance framework. The audit committee of each of the listed companies is composed of 100% of independent directors and chaired by the independent director. The statutory auditors are appointed only upon recommendation by the audit committee to the board of directors. Adani portfolio companies follow a stated policy of having global Big Six or regional leaders as statutory auditors. The focus of the Adani portfolio and the Adani verticals is to contribute to nation building and take India to the world. We will exercise our rights to pursue remedies to safeguard our stakeholders before all appropriate authorities, and we reserve our rights to respond further to any of the allegations or contents of the Hindenburg Report or to supplement this statement. Detail of the report about Adani portfolio. Prior to responding on the specific queries raised in the report, we would like to highlight certain points in relation to the Adani portfolio. A. Adani portfolio presence and business expansion. Adani portfolio operates in four broad verticals. The first two verticals are energy and utility verticals, transport and logistics vertical, which together form the infrastructure sector businesses of Adani portfolio. The businesses are fully integrated in their respective sectors and present across the entire value chain. The third vertical is primary industries vertical, which feeds off the strengths of the portfolio across energy and utility vertical and transport and logistics vertical. For example, the cement manufacturing business has significant adjacencies to power, energy, resource and logistic business of the portfolio. The fourth vertical is direct to consumer, emerging B2C, which includes consumer businesses such as Adani Digital Labs and Adani Wilmar Limited. It may be further noted that all businesses which require shareholder support are housed under the incubator arm, Adani Enterprises Limited. These businesses continue under AEL till the time the business is self-sustaining, post which they are listed separately, creating value for AEL shareholders. Further, all the listed businesses operate on a strict no financial accommodation policy and have independent boards and management. The business operate on a simple yet robust and repeatable business model focused on development and origination, operators and management and capital management plan. B. Portfolio credit highlights. Adani portfolio companies have successfully and repeatedly executed an industry-beating expansion plan over the past decade. While doing so, the companies have consistently delevered with portfolio net debt to EBITDA ratio coming down from 7.6x to 3.2x. EBITDA has grown 22% CAGR in the last 9 years and debt has only grown by 11% CAGR during the same period. The position is given in the table. Note: AEL, Adani Enterprises Limited, EBIT, earnings before interest, taxes and depreciation and amortization, includes other income and is as per numbers reported in audit financials. Gross debt includes term debt and working capital debt and excludes shareholders' subordinated debt. Net debt equal to gross debt less cash and cash equivalents. Both restricted and unrestricted cash and cash equivalents are considered. Gross interest includes interest corresponding to gross debt. Kindly note that the annotated backup of all numbers is attached in Annexure 1 of this document. The leverage ratios of Adani portfolio companies continue to be healthy and are in line with the industry benchmarks of the respective sectors. Over the last 10 years, we have actively worked to improve our debt matrix through our capital management strategy. Please refer Chart B below for diversification of our long-term debt profile through our capital management strategy. The Adani portfolio companies have a full-fledged capital management plan CMP, which has all credit metrics inbuilt. The CMP of the companies are set in a manner to automatically pushing it for deleveraging path. C. Equity injection in the Adani portfolio. Adani portfolio has raised USD 16 billion equity under a systematic capital management plan for all the portfolio companies over the last 3 years as a combination of primary, secondary and committed equity from marquee investors like Total Energies, IHC, QIA, Warburg Pincus, etc. The overview of our partnership model is as presented below. It is based on trust, transparency and respect. This has also resulted in the deleveraging of the promoter level debt, allowing the reduction in the promoter stake pledge in the listed companies. The equity contribution includes the platform level investments made by IHC across 3 of its portfolio companies: AEL USD $1 billion, AEGL USD 500 million, ATL USD 500 million, totaling to USD 2 billion, which was settled in May 2022. Total Energy is one of the leading integrated energy players globally, has strategic alliance with the Adani portfolio across its 4 verticals, namely LNG Terminal, Adani Total Private Limited, City Gas Distribution, Adani Total Gas Limited, Renewable Power Generation, Adani Green Energy Limited, and Green Hydrogen Ecosystem, Adani New Industries Limited, ANIL. The investment in ANIL is pending completion. So this comes with the part 2 completion. We will continue with the remaining in the other parts. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.